All right, welcome back. Democrats are still celebrating some major wins they secured earlier on this week. And that includes in the state of Virginia, where Democratic candidates won big, securing control of both legislative bodies. And we have one of those Democrats who won her race joining us now, State Senator-elect Danica Roem, who is the second out transgender person in the country to be elected to a state Senate, and the first openly trans person elected to a state Senate anywhere in the South. Danica, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And by the way, congratulations on your win. What a major day for you and for the state of Virginia as well. Talk me through first, now that essentially the party takes full control of the legislature, what your message is to your constituents in Virginia.
Sure. So the first message to my constituents is exactly what's been on my yard signs, my placards, this entire campaign: fixing roads and feeding kids. That's what we're going to go do now. And, you know, in the 6 years since I became the first out and seated trans state legislator in the country in 2017, when I unseated the self-described chief homophobe of Virginia, you know, we've now passed 41 of my bills to law, all with bipartisan support, including 12 bills to feed hungry kids. And I'll be introducing legislation for universal free school meals for all kids, no matter where they live in the Commonwealth, because school meal debt should not exist. I'll be introducing legislation to make sure that we actually have 10% of general fund surplus dollars dedicated for transportation safety projects. We can start doing something about the 1,000 plus people who got killed on Virginia roadways last year. And I'll be working a lot on protecting our land. And I say all of this because, yes, I am a trans woman who won an election with a lot of transphobic messaging directed at me. And I'm focused very much on delivering on core quality of life issues, because that's what Democrats need to do across the country in order to succeed, both in terms of constituent service as well as at the ballot box.
You talk about transphobic messaging that was directed squarely at you during your campaign. Specifically, your opponent, Bill Wolf, vowed to bar transgender athletes from competing in school sports teams. You actually spoke with the advocate before your victory, and you told them this: the opposition in this campaign has been more transphobic than my 3 other campaigns combined. You also told them, though, that Virginia, quote, is the last state in the South that is safe for trans people to exist and live our lives. We have got to show up. Talk to me about how important this election was for the state of Virginia, for the LGBTQ plus community, but also what you faced.
Sure. So to answer the second question first, they sent at least 30 negative mailers against me this campaign, and a lot of them were either attacking me, for not wanting to ban trans kids from being able to play with their friends, wherein only 10 trans student athletes even applied for VHSL waivers to do that in the last year out of 1.26 million students. They had another bill that would have forcibly outed trans kids at home, regardless of whether it was safe for them, and gotten in the way of guidance counselors' abilities to actually even just do their basic job. And the 2 legislators who actually put those bills forward that reached the House of Delegates that I led the opposition to, both of them lost. And now we actually will have a record number of out LGBTQ members in the Virginia General Assembly. And I think that sends a message nationwide that when you have legislators who are focused on delivering on those core quality of life issues, which in my case here, like fixing roads, feeding kids, protecting our land, then you have legislators who aren't focused on singling out and stigmatizing the very people they're elected to serve, nor are they trying to take your civil rights away.
Let's talk about quality of life issues, specifically women's health care. And specifically abortion. I know that abortion wasn't directly on the ballot. I know the governor, the Republican state legislature as well, has been pushing for a 15-week abortion ban with some exceptions. We have seen every single time in this country since the midterm elections, when abortion is in fact on the ballot, abortion right advocates win. Do you think this can hurt for votes, especially for the governor in Virginia, when it comes to abortion, considering how it's played out?
The governor of Virginia will not be restricting abortion further because the Democratic majorities that we have in the state Senate and the House of Delegates will not allow him to do that. What we will do in the House of Delegates and the state Senate is we will advance 3 constitutional amendments at least. Number one is, yes, we will have a constitutional amendment to just enshrine the basic protections that we have right now for abortion care in Virginia. And keep in mind, in order for a constitutional amendment to pass, it has to pass both chambers, have an election in between for the House of Delegates, and then pass 2 chambers again, and then goes to the voters in a referendum. So the earliest we could get this done is 2026. But we'll also have a constitutional amendment for repealing the Marshall-Newman Amendment against marriage equality and replacing it with an affirmative right to marry. And we'll have one for the automatic restoration of voting rights. These are all critical issues in terms of just ensuring people's basic civil rights and civil liberties. And like I was saying before, when, I'm introducing bills that are going to be focused on taking care of your commute to make it safer, quicker, and greener, when I'm focused on, introducing bills to make sure that your kids get fed at school and that you're able to save about $1,000 per kid per school year, then that's going to make sure that, your legislator is doing the work to take care of you in your day-to-day life instead of, picking on your kids or instead of telling you what you can and can't do with your own body.
State Senator-elect Danica Roem of Virginia, congratulations once again, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Appreciate it.